One of the most amazing inventors of all time was Nicola Tesla. He was a contemporary of Thomas Edison. Most people know about Edison, inventor of the phonograph and electric light bulb, but few know about Tesla and his accomplishments. This is unfortunate since the modern AC, alternating current, electric system that we all have in our homes, electric motors, remote control, and robotics were all invented by Nicola Tesla. Many people consider him a greater inventor than Edison. Tesla is credited with nearly 300 amazing inventions worldwide, and many people have attributed his inventive abilities to the fact he had very strong powers of visualization. From an early age, Tesla started training his visualization powers. In his 1919 autobiography, My Inventions, he reported how he had strong imagination skills in his youth and experimented with various mental exercises to develop and control them. Quote, every night and sometimes during the day when alone, I would start out on my journeys, see new places, cities, countries, live there, meet people, and make friendships and acquaintances. And however unbelievable, it is a fact that they were just as dear to me as those in actual life, and not a bit less intense in their manifestations. This I did constantly until I was about 17, when my thoughts turned seriously to invention. Then I observed to my delight that I could visualize with the greatest facility. I needed no models, drawings, or equipment. I could picture them all as real in my mind. Thus, I have been led unconsciously to evolve what I consider a new method of materializing inventive concepts and ideas, which is radically opposite to the purely experimental and is, in my opinion, ever so much more expeditious and efficient. End quote. In later years, Tesla was so accomplished in being able to manipulate pictures in his head that he could, with extreme precision, create complicated images of working inventions in his mind. He could visualize complicated machines with such extreme detail and accuracy that he could move directly to the stage of constructing them without need of prototypes. Once built, they worked exactly as intended. In My Inventions, he wrote, quote, I do not rush into actual work. When I get an idea, I start at once building it up in my imagination. I change the construction, make improvements, and operate the device in my mind. It is absolutely immaterial to me whether I run my turbine in thought or test it in my shop. I even note if it is out of balance. There is no difference whatever. The results are the same. In this way, I'm able to rapidly develop and perfect a conception without touching anything. When I have gone so far as to embody in the invention every possible improvement I can think of and see no fault anywhere, I put into concrete form this final product of my brain. Invariably, my device works as I conceive that it should, and the experiment comes out exactly as I planned it. In 20 years, there has been not a single exception. Why should it be otherwise? Engineering, electrical and mechanical, is a positive in results. There is scarcely a subject that cannot be mathematically treated, and the effects calculated or the results determined beforehand from the available theoretical and practical data. The carrying out into practice of a crude idea as is being generally done, is, I hold, nothing but a waste of energy, money, and time. Tesla could not only develop and refine inventions in his mind, but he could mentally use his visualization powers to take apart the proposed machine, fine-tune it, and even visually check it for wear and tear before even actually turning it into a physical product. Basically, his visualized thinking powers made him a genius in the field of mechanical and electrical inventions. Tesla reported, quote, "By that faculty of visualizing, which I learned in my boyish efforts to rid myself of annoying images, I have evolved what is, I believe, a new method of materializing inventive ideas and conceptions. It is a method which may be of a great usefulness to any imaginative man, whether he is an inventor, businessman, or artist. Some people, the moment they have a device to construct or any piece of work to perform, rush at it without adequate preparation and immediately become engrossed in details instead of the central idea. They may get results, but they sacrifice quality. Here, in brief, is my own method. After experiencing a desire to invent a particular thing, I may go on for months or years with the idea in the back of my head. Whenever I feel like it, I roam around in my imagination and think about the problem without any deliberate concentration. This is a period of incubation. Then follows a period of direct effort. I choose carefully the possible solutions of the problem I'm considering and gradually center my mind on a narrowed field of investigation. Now, when I am deliberately thinking of the problem and its specific features, I may begin to feel that I am going to get the solution. And that wonderful thing is that if I do feel this way, then I know I have really solved the problem and shall get what I am after. The feeling is as convincing to me as though I had already solved it. I have come to the conclusion that at this stage the actual solution is in my mind, subconsciously though. It may be a long time before I am aware of it consciously. Before I put a sketch on paper, the whole idea is worked out mentally. In my mind, I change the construction, make improvements, and even operate the device without ever having drawn a sketch. I can give the measurements of all the parts to workmen. And when completed, all these parts will fit just as certainly as though I had made the actual drawings. It is immaterial to me whether I run my machine in my mind or test it in my shop. The inventions I have conceived in this way have always worked. In 30 years, there has not been a single exception. My electric motors, the vacuum tube wireless light, my turbine engine, and many other devices have all been developed in exactly this way. Dr. Temple Grandin, author of Thinking in Pictures, reports that she also had mental powers of visualization that were quite similar to Tesla's abilities. She wrote, quote, "I think in pictures. Words are like a second language to me. I translate both spoken and written words into full-color movies, complete with sound, which run like a VCR tape in my head. When somebody speaks to me, his words are instantly translated into pictures, Language-based thinkers often find this phenomena difficult to understand, but in my world, in my job, as an equipment designer for the livestock industry, visualized thinking is a tremendous advantage. Visualized thinking has enabled me to build entire systems in my imagination. During my career, I have designed all kinds of equipment ranging from corrals for handling cattle on ranches to systems for handling cattle and hogs during veterinary procedures and slaughter. I have worked for many major livestock companies. In fact, 1/3 of the cattle and hogs in the United States are handled in equipment I have designed. Some of the people I've worked for don't even know that the systems were designed by someone with autism. I value my abilities to think visually, and I would never want to lose it. Now, in my work, before I attempt any construction, I test run the equipment in my imagination. I visualize my designs being used in every possible situation with different sizes and breeds of cattle and in different weather conditions. Doing this enables me to correct mistakes prior to construction. Today, everyone is excited about the new virtual reality computer systems in which the user wears special goggles and is fully immersed in a video game action. To me, these systems are like crude cartoons. My imagination works like a computer graphics program that created the lifelike dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. When I do an equipment simulation in my imagination or work on an engineering problem, it is like seeing it on a videotape in my mind. I can view it from any angle, placing myself above or below the equipment and rotating it at the same time. I don't need a fancy graphics program that can produce three-dimensional design simulations. I can do it better and faster in my head. End quote. What does Tesla and Dr. Temple Grandin have in common? The powers of visualization. What if you can tap into your mental capabilities of troubleshooting things in your life? The power to troubleshoot. That is the power of visualization.